Of course, he agrees. All mental state can be explained in terms of the processes in your brain. For 2,000 years, people have been ignorant, just as people have been ignorant on the shape of the earth for 16th century. Yeah. So eventually science will tell what we human beings are, what our mind is. Okay? Now, the point I want to make is this. In the article, he also says, programming, computer programming, and learning a language is very similar. If you have learned a language, say English, try to forget it. Why can't you forget it? Why? It's because it's completely programmed in your brain. That's why. Try to forget your language. Moreover, try to speak a language of unknown language to us, some language in Africa somewhere. You cannot talk about it. You have to program gradually. So learning of a second language effectively requires a very well programmed process. What that means, you have to program into your brain cells, neurons, and so on. You know what? These days, I am almost 100% convinced. So far, we separate the mind and the body, brain and consciousness and so on. That's wrong. Now, in Korea, as I mentioned, Chung, the patriarch of the 20th century, said, what is enlightenment? What is seeing the nature? He said, there should be a revolution in your consciousness, eighth consciousness called alaya vijnana. And when all those unwholesome elements are wiped out of your eighth consciousness, you leap to ninth consciousness, amala vijnana. That is the enlightenment, seeing the true nature. And what is the true nature? It's emptiness. Emptiness meaning your hardware, software of the brain is completely wiped out. No more, nothing. That is the seeing the nature. This is the scientific, contemporary terms of neurophysiology to explain what the enlightenment was meant by like a Songchul in Korea. See? And so the significance of this whole thing is this. Just as you program language learning, and you have a great command of the language once you have mastered it, character formations, character, even the human character, personality, these all depend how you have a program while you are young. That's why the childhood education rearing is so important. And Master Chung and the Dharma was of Master Chung, he starts, what is the right process of good life, perfect life? You start when luminous consciousness enters the womb of the new mother. And while that luminous consciousness is in the womb, the mother should have a good influence on the fetus or pre-birth education. It goes back to the mother of the King Wen. King Wen's mother taught what is called prenatal education, telling to his, the fetus of the King Wen, teaching only good things. Now, how could we understand this? Even in the womb of the new being, new life, there could be an influence. Remember the neurons in the brain. Neurons are so small that there could be millions and millions of them, even in the little fetus. And it all depends what kind of education the mother gives to the, unborn baby. And when the baby is born, of course, it's very, very important. What kind of education? Moral education, science education, and so on, because they are all programmed into your brain. And once they are programmed, it's hard to alter, to change it. Why? That's the way of forming our personality and character. You see? Now, this is only an hypothesis, what I'm thinking, okay? However, after studying philosophy, East and West, for the past all my life, these days I'm amazed by this new idea. And I'm convinced by one instant, that is anesthesia. They put something in my stream of brain, the blood, and it reaches my brain, it stops everything. And you have a good night's sleep. Absolutely no dream whatsoever. What happens? Moreover, these days when the experiment, they connect an electrode to your brain and then ask you to stop thinking. So when you meditate, you enter samadhi, real samadhi. Needle, what is called the graph, doesn't show nothing, flat. But if you start thinking, then what do you call that, Mr. So, on the screen, the TV screen? It shows. When you think of something, then you see. Therefore, human consciousness eventually will be explained completely in terms of the processes in your brain. Of course, there's a problem. What is myself? Isn't myself self which somehow controls that? But what is the self then? Where is the self? Outside the brain? Philosophers, materialist philosophers, in no way. You are a human being, and this brain, the greatest existence in the whole universe. It can reflect on yourself and others. And actually, there are the materialist philosophers like David Armstrong of Australia. What is self-awareness? Okay, self-consciousness. When you are unhappy, you know you are unhappy, right? What happens? Because he tries it, he explains every mental state in terms of what is called behaviorism. Behavior of your brain. One part of your brain is scanning the other part of the brain. The other part of the brain is in the state of unhappiness, okay? Sadness. And the other part, which you call like yourself, that is scanning the other part, which is experienced as feeling sadness, like that. Now, I'm going to quit on this. Someday I have to say some more. But, these days, especially this anesthesia. I had several anesthesia before, but this time I was amazed. Why? What is the thing? And they put in my bloodstream and reached my brain and stopped completely unaware. You see? So it seems to me that